I appreciate the opportunity, but I just can't. I can't do it. I don't have the money. Nobody in my family got this money. I don't even feel comfortable asking anybody else. And the dude's on the phone, and he's like, Richard, if it wasn't for the money, would you still do it? I said, absolutely. He hung up immediately. He's like, I'm gonna call you back. He hung up.
Yeah.
Calls me back. He's like, Richard, don't worry about the money. Meet me at Wells Fargo tomorrow. I have never met this man before the day he handed me his card. We walked right into that Wells Fargo. He pulled that money out. He handed me the envelope, and he said, Richard, I don't care how much money you end up making. You ain't never got to give me this money back. I don't even want you to bring it up.
Man.
So I went, put that deposit with the firm, and I thought everything was good.
Yeah.
But I guess something happened with their back office where they said the home office chimed in and said, we can't have somebody with a bad credit score and a criminal record.
Finance.
But the wild thing that I left out was between the time he gave me the money and the time that I was actually getting terminated with them, I left my job at Enterprise because I needed time to study.
Yeah.
Because they told me you need to be here from 1 to 4 p.m. So I was like, man, I'll go work at LA Fitness or something. I don't care. Yeah, I'm willing to do whatever. So now I'm working at LA Fitness. I get a call from the managing partner. I remember this like it was yesterday, bro. It's like 8 a.m. He's like, hey, Richard, got some bad news. We just not going to be able to offer you the position because of the things that I thought were okay, but we've been overridden by the home office. Bro, I don't think since the time I tore my ACL, I cried any harder.
Oh, believe it. I mean, you're at your darkest moment. Like this was your one shot out. You know you can't go back to Enterprise. One, you left Enterprise, but you can't go back to Enterprise.
Man, I was sitting there just thinking about everything that had happened. I'm like, I had the money. I got the shit off my credit.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a fight. But I quit my job, which I wasn't happy at Enterprise, but I was okay with the money I was making.
You knew you was going to make money.
But now I'm working at LA Fitness as a trainer, making minimum wage. I'm like, God, if you wanted me to be a trainer my whole life, you should have just told me. Yeah. So anyway, without making it long-winded, I was working at LA Fitness for a while, and one of my boys from high school called me. And he was like, hey, Rich, I see that you're making some good money now. Just thought maybe I can get a few minutes of your time. I'm a financial advisor at Northwestern Mutual. Just thought, I could help you out. I stopped him mid-pitch. I'm like, hey, you with who? He's like, Northwestern Mutual. I'm like, hey, I need an interview, bro. I got this situation. I ain't with it.
It's not the money that you think it is. I know.
I'm not doing that. Yeah. So he hooked me up with an interview. And my first interview, they ask you those surface level questions. I cut them in the middle. Like, hey, look. I don't have $3,000. My credit is bad. I got in a fight in college, and that's it. Like,
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is who I am. This is who you get.
The dude started laughing. He was like, I don't care that you was in a fight. He said everybody has bad credit.
Yeah.
And you don't need $3,000. We gonna give you $4,000 to start up.
Sheesh. Whole life did a 360.
It was a roller coaster ride, bro. But
so now you're at Northwest, but just like when you go through those moments, you just think about, was there any part of athletics that kept you going?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever just been a quitter. Mm-hmm. I think I've been through enough scenarios in my life to prove that if I just stick it out and keep faith in myself, that it's always going to pan out better. Because the thing is, bro, when you truly believe in what God got destined for you, when things you believe are bad, that are true adversity in your life, that's just God trying to remove that from your life so he can place something new there, the thing that he wants you to have, right? Which might really be in alignment with what you feel like you want. So
I feel like it at the time.
I think being able to just be like, this is happening for a reason, and I just got to keep going is what's really helped me from athletics.
So now when you look at your day-to-day schedule, I'm sure it's no different than when you were an athlete, but I'll let you talk a little bit about your schedule. But I know from playing sports, we had film, right? So is there a film component of what you're doing today? And how do you navigate the skill set that you built in athletics and the fundamentals that you built, and how do you bring that into business?
I think it's just being detail oriented, right? When I was in high school, we didn't watch film of practice, but when I got to college, we started watching film, and I used to be like, damn, that's how I backpedal? Like, that's how I'm running?
That's how
I gotta correct that. So when you're running a business, there's days or there's months where you have to look back and say, okay, based off of how many people I've called, how many times I've went out to network, what was the result of those different things, right? You have to be able to assess what you've done in the past and then be able to try to predict if I do this the same way, I'm gonna get this result. Right. So I think also being just in a sales background between enterprise and LA Fitness gave me a sound understanding of like, when I go out and make money, that's not the reason why I made the money. The reason why I made the money is all the stuff that I did beforehand.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people forget that, man. I think that like when I look at the day-to-day or the schedule, right, I always look at, okay, cool, when it comes down to film, I'm gonna listen to my past calls and sales, right? So what are my past calls like? Okay, cool. When it comes down to the playbook, I'm gonna look at some different books and different leaders and mentors that I could kind of mock my schedule and mock my day after. So I'm sure you have those people. Are there any books or any mentors that really guided you on your path through finance?
Yeah, man. You know, I've had a few different mentors, but the one that's had the biggest impact on my life is a dude named Selfie Taylor. That's my guy, man. Like, Selfie Taylor has been one of the top Black financial advisors in the United States for the last 10 to 15 years.
Wow.
And you know, outside of just, you know, his wisdom and knowledge, his energy, right? How he embraces himself and other people when he's in a group, and how he talks to people about how he's going to help them and change their lives has been like super impactful. But, you know, he's taught me some things that if I would have never met him, I would have never known.
Wow.
I don't think there's a book, there's not a YouTube video, there's not a podcast I could have searched because sometimes you just don't know what you don't know.
You can't know. Where would you look for it?
So, you know, I really value relationships with people who are, you know, smarter than me, more successful than me, make more money than me, because their experience and how they're able to relay that information to you is going to be a much faster process than you trying to read some book.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, and I think it's a very similar structure, right? I mean, I think that some of the best athletes in the world, I don't care what sport you look at, it could be football where you have your Tom Brady's, basketball where you have your LeBron James. Every talented individual has a coach, right? So when it comes down to a mentor, you have to have a coach, but then also you have to do the work outside of the game, outside of practice. So I know, you know, one thing that you said that I thought was a gem. There's two things that you said that really stuck with me that I really felt like was a gem. One being, you know, you said that in business, and when we find something that we're passionate about, we don't just have 4 years to master it, right? So when we go to college or even high school, we know we have 4 years. We're like, hey, you know, a freshman and a senior, I got to get out of here at that point, right? And the other thing that you said to me that I thought was really impactful was whatever you're passionate about or whatever you're doing or whatever your business is, you need to be spending at least 30 minutes a day on that, right? Not 30 minutes a day as in, hey, I want to do my job and I'm spending 30 minutes a day just doing my job to the highest ability. But something that you said that I thought was impactful was outside of, you know, practice, outside of the game, let's spend 30 minutes a day and let's just research to go look underneath a rock and learn something I didn't know. And I'm not sure if a mentor taught you that or if that was sports that taught you that, but I mean, I think those things are really impactful.
I think it's a combination of both. You know, like I said, my mom was the only person I had in the house, right? So my examples of father figures or men were a lot of different coaches that I had or teachers that I had in my life. And I just, at a certain level, I don't think I was intentionally doing it, but I started to pull the best parts of them and trying to apply that to be the type of man that I am today. You know, so when I think it gets into business, I have who I am as a man, but as a businessman, I feel like it's a different, it's an outer coat that you have to fill with different layers of cloth, right? And the type of cloth that you want to fill this layer with is very successful men because they have the track record of what they've done and the knowledge they possess to get that done.
Absolutely. So when you look at all the combination of experiences that you've had, what drives you? What puts together Rich? What's the goal 10 years from today?
Man, it's always changing. It's always changing as far as like what's driving me. Initially, the thing that was driving me was that when I went up to Oakland, I met with a financial advisor, and he was talking about all these different things he was going to do for me. But I told him, I said, hey, even if you're not able to deliver on those things, I just want you to know I got a finance degree. When this is all said and done, I want to pursue this career. Would you be able to position me, at least if I'm not working for you, work for somebody else? And once I got done, this dude didn't even pick up my phone calls. So like my driving force was like, oh, he think I'm just not gonna make it into this industry and be good at it. So I was really chasing that for a long time.
Yeah. I'm wrong.
But I kind of grew out of those shoes, and I'm in a position now where I feel like my ultimate goal is just to impact as many people as possible. The information and resources that I've been given has been so impactful to my family. It's been impactful to my friends, and it's not just subtle things. It's like things that completely changes the trajectory of someone's life, and not just for the time they're living, but for the ones that come after them. So if I could be in a position where God continues to bless me, and I could keep pushing forward and impacting more people on a larger scale, that's exactly what I want to do. I don't believe the money aspect of it is really the pushing force. Of course, I want to live well and have the things that I truly want out of life. But, if I could really do this the right way, and by the time I die, it's millions of people saying like, damn, without Rich, I don't even think I would be where I'm at today. That would be the most fulfilling thing.
Nah, that's a power information. That's a power information. So, I know how I use you and how I'm able to benefit and my family's been able to benefit. But if I'm someone that's never met Rich, obviously you have a number of videos on your Instagram. You have an amazing TikTok. You can. I think that's a way where you can get a lot of free game about who Rich is. And ultimately, even if you don't care about Rich, if you care about yourself, you really need to do yourself.
You ain't gotta like me.
You ain't gotta like I'm telling you, it's a lot of tax strategies that you just don't know. It's a lot of business strategies and structure that you just don't know. But from your side, from your lens, how do you deem your expertise? Why should someone reach out to you?
I just have a proven track record. I've been doing this for 7 years. I don't think you make it this long by giving people bad information. But outside of that, you can kind of just look through what I've posted, videos I put up, and just see what I'm talking about. And if it's relevant to you, then I'm not saying you need to talk to me, but talk to somebody about it. I tell people all the time, I do free consults, right? But once I give that information, I'm not saying you're obligated to do business with me. You could take this to your tax team. You could do this to your investor or your insurance agent. I just want to make people aware of information that they might not have ran into. You might even look on my social media and see like some attention grabbing stuff. They're like trying to really pull people in, because I know people just spend time just scrolling through their feed. I need to stop you real quick and shock you in so that you can get the information that could potentially change your life. Because that's what this information has done for me. Outside of what I tell people to do, I've applied that 10 times over. So if I know it works for me, if I know it works for people that are my clients, then for you to come in at the first levels of running a business or being an employee or starting a family, it has to work for you.
No, I couldn't agree more. One thing, like I said, I stand Rich. He's one of the few people that I would trust in my life, but I just say every time I talk to Rich, I learn from Rich, and I think that you can too. Definitely take the time to follow him. His Instagram is right here. We'll make sure that it's a banner that where you can find Rich down below. But most importantly, man, this platform was built for you to be able to understand that when the ball stops bouncing, there's people out here doing some incredible things. Rich is a testament of some incredible work that he's doing. Any way that you need help with your finances, he's the guy that I know that, one, he'll give you the information that he has. If he doesn't have the answer, he'll go find the answer. And if he can't find the answer, he'll know someone that has the answer. So definitely leverage Rich, follow Rich, and get your finances in order, because it's so important to you.
Holla at your boy, man. And one last thing, what I will say is, if you're a young dude out there and you in college, or you might have just graduated high school, the thing that you need to tell yourself is that I'm going to have undeniable belief in myself. I'm going to have undeniable belief in God. And I don't care what adversity that I go through, I am going to make it through. So if you have those three things, there really isn't anything that will stop you in life. Because if you think you never gonna fail along this journey, you really setting yourself up to be disappointed.
Yeah.
I've failed so many times in my life. I've wanted to quit so many times in my life. And I'm here today to tell you that I'm enjoying life and I'm in a position now because I didn't quit.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you for having me.